Every day around the world, people like me experience the sensation of it. It is a moment in your life when you experience something so simply profound that it completely changes your perspective. It lights a fire underneath you, drives your curiosity, and inspires you to think about the future. The it moment for me happened back in middle school, when the first drone I ever built lifted its landing gear off the ground and started to fly under its own control. It opened the door to a flood of new questions for me. Can I build a better drone? Can I make drones safer by building sensors that enable them to avoid obstacles? Can I put sensors on this drone and map air quality in 3 dimensions and somehow improve the world's ability to monitor air pollution? As one question was answered, another one would emerge. It created an incredible feedback loop, fed by curiosity and inspiration. That it I'm talking about is exactly what I want to help create in other students. The process of raising their level of curiosity and instilling a higher level of inspiration is particularly important as it relates to the aerospace industry and to space exploration. Space exploration is currently going through a very strong evolutionary change. And this change is unlike anything we've ever seen before. It'll create unique challenges in how we instill the it in our younger students to think about a future in this exciting and important field. To understand the importance and the growth in future of space exploration, we need to take a quick look at its past and see why it's changing. For the last 5 decades, American space exploration has been publicly funded and controlled by NASA. This process worked well until the cost of space exploration exceeded the political will to fund the huge associated expenses. Simply explained, here. NASA and our politicians tried to stay ahead of the cost curve by sharing in the development of an international space station and developing reusable rockets in the form of the Space Shuttle program. This again worked well for a while until the costs continued to rise, and we were paying close to $450 million for each Space Shuttle launch. Close to $500 million per launch is not sustainable, and the shuttle program was terminated in 2011. In all, it had flown 135 missions, helped construct the International Space Station, and inspired millions of people. Unfortunately, space exploration had become simply too expensive. At this point, the United States space program had a major problem. How do we get our astronauts to the International Space Station? The situation was so bad, we had to ask our space competitors, the Russians, for rides to the space station. Calling for a Russian Uber ride to the space station was not cheap. The Russians charged $60 million per seat, which seems expensive, but was much less than the $450 million per trip on the space shuttle. But now we're entering a new era. An era where we will no longer rely on other nations or governments to Uber us to space. This new era is the era of private space exploration. For the first time in history, NASA is relying on launch vehicles and spacecraft that are fully designed, manufactured, and operated by private aerospace companies. In 2014, NASA chose to fund SpaceX and Boeing to develop systems to transport American crews to and from the International Space Station. So this right here is truly the crossroads between public and private space exploration efforts. Now, I'd just like to take a second to talk about this. This right here is the initial test launch of the SpaceX Falcon Heavy last February. And it is so important and sentimental to me for so many reasons. It shows that one man with a dream can create such a huge technological and scientific impact. In this case, Elon Musk. It shows that the innovative private sector now has access to the world's most powerful operational rocket in the world, as opposed to the governments before. But possibly even more exciting was its payload. In this case, Elon Musk's personal Tesla Roadster. And this truly shows that space can once again be exciting and thrilling for the general public. I mean, who else is going to launch their car into space to test out their rocket? But most definitely the most exciting part of this entire flight was the landing of the 2 side boosters. And no, this is not a rocket launch played in reverse. These are 2 Statue of Liberty-sized machines flying from space at supersonic speeds and then landing within feet of their target landing zone, standing up. And because these boosters can be used again and again and again, they save the private launch industry millions of dollars per launch. So this crossroad that we're living in right now, from publicly funded space exploration to private corporations, is going to create what I like to call a momentum dilemma. Instead of a space program being pulled along by a president's political agenda, it must now be pushed by passionate individuals who see the bigger picture, who see the importance of advancing space exploration technology, and who are passionate about the future. This right here, this momentum dilemma, is exactly why we need to instill the it in our students of today. Because without this it, there will be no one to push space exploration along. But let's take a step back for a second now and ask ourselves, why? Why is it so important that we must continue to reach out towards the stars? Well, to answer this, I'd like to make a bold and broad argument. I believe that the exploration and settlement of other worlds is not only the next logical step in humanity's evolution, but is also fundamentally critical to the survival of life. Let's once again look back in time to inform the future. Throughout the history of Earth, it has gone through 5 major mass extinction events, some of which wiped out over 90% of life on Earth. Due to both man-made and natural causes, some experts believe that we're currently entering another one of these periods. Given a situation like this, life will have a significantly higher likelihood of surviving, given another habitable world. Or as Elon Musk would put it, a backup hard drive for humanity. Additionally, finite resources on Earth are at risk of being overcome by our never-ending population growth. Today, there are currently 7.6 billion people on Earth. And in just 30 years, there will be over 9.8 billion. Research has shown that Earth's carrying capacity is currently somewhere between 9 and 10 billion people. 30 years is going to come fast, and solutions to the challenges of an ever-expanding population need to be addressed today. Take a look at this. Our planet is just a pale blue speck in a vast and dangerous universe filled with radiation, asteroids, and destructive forces beyond our wildest nightmares. It is truly a miracle, and quite possibly the only instance in the entire universe where we are safe on the small little ball of rock and water. Putting all your eggs in one basket is always foolish. And restraining all known life in the universe to one small planet could be the worst mistake that we ever make. So now we know 2 things. First, there is a momentum dilemma being created from this transition in space exploration from government-driven programs to private companies. Secondly, we know that space exploration is the next logical step in humanity's evolution and is quite possibly critical to the survival of life. Now, I'm no economics professor, but I see a supply and demand issue here. The demand is great for exploration and securing the future of humanity, but the supply is dwindling in inspired individuals who are ready to push through the final frontier. So with this in mind, let's discuss how we can create this feeling of it in our next generation of space explorers, so that as a species, we can collectively grow and move into the stars to protect and ensure a safe future for everyone. Well, currently, the educational process for aerospace engineering is primarily focused on college and graduate students. But this is too late. We need to create an impact on students who are in high school, middle school, and even elementary school. These are our next generation of space explorers, and these are the people who are going to build our future among the stars. Not only do we need to provide education to younger students, but we need to provide it in a manner that is engaging, experiential, and quite possibly most importantly, fun. I believe that these three qualities are what create an inspirational learning environment. And when students are inspired, they will push themselves. They will wake up excited for the future and excited to see what can come next. For all this to happen, simply a foundation must be present so that the it within can be sparked. I believe that this foundation can be created in two ways. Firstly, we can leverage existing entities that are already focused on this mission and get more students involved. Secondly, we can create what I like to call educational loops. Let's dive into both of these ideas. So first, existing entities. Team America Rocketry Challenge is the world's largest student rocket contest. Better known by its acronym TARC, it is one of the key pieces of the aerospace and defense industry strategy to build a stronger U.S. workforce. Nearly 5,000 students from across the nation compete in regional and national competitions. TARC has been around for 16 years, yet each year it only attracts 5,000 participants nationwide. And this is out of a pool of 15 million high school students. That means only 1 in every 3,000 students decide to compete in this amazing opportunity. Oregon specifically has 372 high schools, and only 4 schools participated in TARC last year. There is an incredible growth opportunity here with organizations and competitions like TARC that are already established. But now, let's talk about what I find personally really exciting, and these are educational loops. So an educational loop is when older students teach and inspire younger students. And then when those younger students are the older students, they can once again teach and inspire the new younger students. And the loop goes on and on. I believe that the very nature of these educational loops makes them particularly well suited for aerospace education. It allows students to teach what they have learned, which further solidifies their own knowledge. It allows education to spread at an incredible exponential pace because students are teaching other students, which in turn teach even more students. And it also allows the latest technology to be brought into the classroom. Many of our trained middle school and high school teachers are not exposed to the latest technological advancements. However, students are. But as with any sort of loop, we will always run into the chicken or the egg dilemma. What came first? The younger students with the knowledge, or the older students providing the knowledge? And so this is exactly the problem I've set out on to solve. Last summer, I founded the nonprofit Aeronautics Northwest. Our mission is to kickstart this educational loop, to inspire and instill the it in our younger students so that we can create this amazing and self-sustaining educational process. We are currently developing a novel educational model that we hope will inspire and educate students around the world and of any background. We want to make technology and aerospace engineering exciting and fun to learn. Our process is centered around kits that enable students to have access to a hands-on learning environment. We hope that the content and experiences provided within our work will allow the foundation of it to be created within our students. In all, aerospace and space exploration is truly at a crossroads between the declining participation of government-funded political entities and the fast growth rate of private companies. The transition from a public industry to a private industry is not a bad thing. It shows that there are driven and inspired individuals who want to advance space exploration through commercial means. And because these new space ventures need to be commercially viable, they have more pressure on them to deliver their services at a lower price than governments do. SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, all private companies who are developing some of the most astonishing aerospace technology out there. The awesome thing is that this is not just another social media or video game startup trend. This is truly technology that will revolutionize the future of humanity and make life as we know it multiplanetary. But this technology is not going to develop itself. Today, we must start the process of inspiring and developing our next generation of space explorers. By reaching out to our younger students, we will help assure that this industry and mission will be able to meet our future needs. I cannot wait to see the future developments in space exploration, and I want us all to be there when that happens. So with that, welcome to the second space race.